Hey folks, David here once again. Welcome back to my thoughts slash favorite episodes of Arrow, season 7. Which again I think is another disappointing season, but I didn't hate it as much as season 5 and 6. But anyway, folks, we got about 4 more episodes left. Just 4 more, and then I'll give my final thoughts, and then we'll be done, okay? And that episode is which I liked. It's called Lost Canary. Alright. So that was up with Felicity, who's attempting to find Laura. She's been, thanks to Amico, who identified her who admitted her criminal history. And since they figure out the new DA is a criminal, Laura had to go on the run. She runs her phone in Somerville that a warrant has been given for the capture of her. So she goes back to put on her black siren suit. To get help, she wants to commit some crimes to get out of town or whatever. Or better, too. Something like that. But anyway, it is badass to see her fight some people and break in and then, yeah. So Felicity tries talking to Diana with the choice, yet the police captain won't move. Won't listen. Meanwhile, Laura's shaping her very own group. First approaching Shadow Thief, there's somebody named Shadow Thief who she meets her group, she knocks her group out, makes a deal with her that, you know, about a heist opportunity in Star City. Felicity finished her own work and acknowledgement. Amiga was the one that saw the criminal Laura is blamed for executing that Amiga set it up, but it's just no kind of important turn for her. So she and Shadow Thief, they're gonna try to steal $100,000 in a heist. One of the heists, the other two are going to take 10 million with stones, yet they're halted by Diana in a little while. Diana's joined by Sarah Lance, which it was cool to see Sarah show up. They say, Lord, this isn't you. It's like, this is me. Like, shut up, Felicity. I'm not going to listen to you. Felicity even tries to, like, don't hang up on me. We're talking to the computer. They're like, stay out of my way or else, you know. But Sarah Lance comes up at White Canary. That was awesome to see Katie Lost show up to fight with them. Because Diana Lance, once again dons her Black Canary suit to stop her, but joined by Sarah. But they escape at the end. Utilizing the PC of the era, Diana is ready to follow the pair to nearby and steers the center. But if Felicity and Diana merge the area, they reveal a bomb that Laura's fixed to detonate, and the two barely get away from harm. Sarah's ready to follow Laura to their dad's grave, but she can't talk sense into her or two sisters. She tries to talk to her, like, you shouldn't do this. You were somebody to Quentin. Quentin, you cared about him, didn't you? It was like, well, he was with my real father anyway. Stay out of my way. Yeah. And I do like seeing, when Sarah was doing the pull ups and she, again, is hot. While Oliver just ended up with her is beyond me. Yeah. Or Laura. I'd rather just be with one of the Lance sisters instead of Felicity. But that's just me. So Laura leaves to go into the house with Shadow Thief. Shadow Thief tells her, if those women get in the way again, we're going to have to kill them. Are you prepared for that? Yeah, I'll do it. But Laura understands that Shadow Thief is hoping to take a weapon that will execute a lot of Star City occupants. Laura is discovered to be a real, and Laura is discovered to be really undercover. She works with Felicity, Sarah, and Diana in their battle, but Shadow Thief gets away. Well, she nearly gets away with the weapon, and you know, eventually, Laura, speaking to her through her heart, she's like, I don't know, nobody else believed in you, but I mean, I'll give Felicity this. Felicity did believe in her, had the strength to believe in her. It's like, you can be changed, and she does change, and she turns on the Shadow Thief, and Shadow Thief was like, I figured you would do that, so they fight some of the criminals. Sarah's fighting too. It was just awesome to see Lawrence and the Canaries fight. Diana Lance again, I don't care for her as a character or her suit, but she fights decently. Yeah. Laura reveals to Felicity and Diana that she knows that Felicity's pregnant, of course. So she's like, "Oh, I've done so good. I deserve 2 drinks," but she doesn't say anything, which I respect her for that. She knows that Felicity's pregnant, but she respects their quietness about it. respects her wishes about it. Again, yeah, you can question why they don't tell the team, but again, they did. They're just trying to protect their daughter. You know, protect their kid. You find out they're having a little girl, and of course they're named the girl Mia. The Mia that you see in the future in these episodes, yes, that's their daughter. Yeah. So in the flash forwards, Galaxy One unleashes Zeta. It's a new force hunting down the Canary Network with this tech helmet Archer program, which Felicity built. Mia wants to fight back and ambush one of the Zetas. I do like that she's got that stubborn attitude like Oliver. Oliver was to just go in there and fight it alone, and she's the same way. She tries to do that, but she gets saved by Laura, who's wearing the new Black Canary suit with the wig. Like that was awesome. I just wish we got more of this Black Canary more. And they said they killed the good Black Canary off, or they could have done a lot more with this character. But by the end, she does tell them before we flash forward to the future. She tells them, "I'm gonna go and start R2 and try to be a hero." I'm like, ugh. So they still don't know what to do with this character. They make her a DA, which didn't work. Then they make her bad. So it's just like flip side with this character. I'm like, can we just focus on making her good, please? Yeah, I think they could have done a lot more with the character. If they would have killed Felicity off ahead of time, we could have maybe have her and Oliver fall in love. I'd rather just have that, to be honest. Be more interesting. Because the Zeta helmets, though, Felicity's like working on it, and it's not working. And they're trying to tell her she can't go, but Mia doesn't listen. But she's like, give this to Felicity to fix it. And it was just cool to see Laura in that Black Canary suit. Again, it was cool. Pretty cool ending, though. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But that was all Kira. I liked the episode. I didn't care for the Diana and, of course, Felicity character especially, but I did like seeing Sarah back and some of the action we did. It was a pretty good episode, I thought. But not great. You know, it's like they just don't know what to do with the Laura character. You kill her off, you bring her back from Earth 2. I'm like, it's like flip flop with the character. Okay, let's see. All right, I'll mark that down. Okay, and this is another favorite of mine. It's called Spartan. So we got 4 episodes left. Spartan, yeah. Which wait a minute, wait. Spartan, which I did like. Oliver Digger, they end up finding this tablet used by the North Circle. They take a stab at it, getting to the Argus. They go to this general named General Stewart, who you find out is John's stepfather, and he's played by Arnie Hudson. Yes, Arnie Hudson from Congo, from Ghostbusters 1 and 2, uh, Leviathan. Awesome actor. Always love this guy as an actor. Arnie's always been one of my favorites, so it was so awesome to see him in here. You know, and see that there's some friction there, and Oliver's like surprised. I like, whoa. But you find out that General Stewart worked with his father, and the issue there is that he blames General Stewart, the general, for his father's death, or was the cause of it. But anyway, you have Felicity, you have Athena come back. I got tired of this character, Athena. She's just obnoxious. But anyway, they get attacked by these hooligans who wind up taking a portion of the Archer, which again, her idea was to build Archer, this computer program to catch criminals and terrorists and people who are kidnapped. Well, it goes to the Ninth Circle's hand. They try to kidnap them. The general sends his men down to protect them, which works. So after that, Stewart chooses then to assist the team, and Arrow gives them a lead. When they arrive, nonetheless, the Ninth Circle figures out how to palm Stewart and Dougal in a little while. They try to go on this mission, but John and Stewart, John Stewart. I was gonna. John and Stewart get No, sorry. It's making me think of Green Lantern character, but anyway, they get captured and really tortured by the enemy. Hmm. think you also have Roy come back here to assist them a little bit too. So again, yeah, you have the actor who plays Roy comes back in here, which is nice. So after Stewart and Dougal are saved, the group recovers at the Arrow Refuge where Oliver acknowledges using the Point Gila Archer to find a biological weapon that Stewart's been directing. And Oliver even talks to John about, trying to rekindle his relationship with his stepfather, about what's going on there, which I didn't mind. I like that him and Oliver were back to speaking terms, and it wasn't a pain. It wasn't a pain to deal with like what he says with her. I didn't like them arguing and fighting with each other. I get it. Good friends can fight sometimes, but I just didn't like the way the writing was for that. But here, it's nice that they didn't make John a dick anymore. He was a dick in season 6, but he's not here anymore. I'm like, please don't do that again with this character. And I'm glad they didn't with John Diggle. You know, they got this PC tracking or hacking they can do thanks to Stewart's help. Oliver uncovers reality to Amico. Dante has been misleading her and that he murdered her mom. You find out that he was the one that actually killed her mother. So Amico is ready to escape from Oliver, and later on she slaughters that. Well, not Oliver have a little bit of a fight again, but she sees Dante and she, shoots him arrows and was like, "Oh!" I was like, he's like, "This is for my mother. I killed your mother because you need to grow strong, honey. You need to get stronger." And she like stabs. She's like, "Go to hell!" Stabs him. Yeah. Diana and Renee show at least a bit of kindness to heart about Amico. And yeah, it is upsetting for Renee because he trusted her and, you know, he can understand, she was abandoned. Dougal first tells the group that he descends to Stewart, not sparing Dougal's dad in a gunfight. Reality it turns out that Stewart is an outstanding person, that he's actually saved his dad, you know, something like that. Yeah. Felicity chooses to no longer seek after the Felicity to no longer seek after the older sibling, and she and Elena begin what they can straightways. And then in the future, though, you have Mia and Connor obtain a power model for the tech. They go to the Deathstroke gang, and you see them about to like share a kiss or whatever. They're kind of relationship. Mia's about ready to fight. But they want to go talk to John Diggle Jr., who is his first, JJ, who has become the new brand of Deathstroke. But afterwards, attacked by them, Felicity powers up the helmet, and learns Galaxy One has expanded Archer. So, but it is nice to see that in there with John Diggle Jr. and stuff. That was pretty decent what's going on. But I did like the whole thing with the Deathstroke gang and the future there. The future looks very dark and bleak for Star City, but it looks pretty good, I think. TV. And I don't mind the character of Connor Hawk. We haven't met JJ yet. The only thing is they get threatened, almost shot and killed by his Deathstroke gang. Because I assume he doesn't want to talk to his brother. But I liked the part, and mainly because Ernie Hudson was here. They amends their relationship at the end. Their father-son relationship at the end. They each other. It's like John, see your mother. But it was cool to see Ernie Hudson in this episode. But it was a pretty interesting episode. Pretty good, I thought. Can't believe I'm saying that after hating season 5 and 6. So, good amount of episodes I hated on there. But anyway, that was Spartan. Okay, well, former episodes. Missions. I'm sorry. 3 episodes to go. All right, in this episode, one more okay episode, just one more okay episode, then two favorites, and then that's it. But one more okay episode that is Confessions. It begins with Oliver being in an interrogation room of the sergeant and Diana talking about what happened here. Tests the Watchmen. That these two gatekeepers were slaughtered by a battle trying to stop a biological assault by Amico with the Ninth Circle. Team Arrow called in Roy Harper to assist them, which it was cool to see Roy. He says that him and Thea are trying to search for the Lazarus Pit like in season 6 when she prepares to leave Star City for good, start a new life with Roy, to have that normal life. But instead of doing that for now, they're trying to destroy these Lazarus Pits. You know, that Malcolm has sent them. And when they tell Roy about it, I was like, why didn't you tell Thea? He's like, because Thea's trying to have a normal life with you. I didn't want to bring the stress on her, you know. And he seems to understand. Roy doesn't argue it, you know. But through the course of events, Amiko was working legitimately with Mr. Todd, the CEO of Anatron, and that the reason he didn't need the assurance of Team Arrow from the Ninth Circle was the fact that he's in the events of this weapon. So it's like the Amigo is running the group now, terrorist group, the Ninth Circle now. You see us on his bio weapon, you know, Arsenal. It was cool to see. It was really awesome to see him in his Arsenal suit again. Roy's able to sneak in there, just shoot an arrow at Amigo, but Amigo just like this, counter move like this, which I thought was cool. And like she's like, kill him, when they fight a bit. And Roy, you find out Lily can take a punch. At first, Diana assists Roy with soldering the Watchman, yet Buck and the second they get to Renee, as he was the last one situated by the cops after they were shot. Renee neglects that it was Oliver the first on the scene, making the police think he was the killer because his fingerprints were on the weapon, the murder weapon, before what happened. Yeah. As he was going after Miko, him and John split up. After all of Team Arrow are discharged, the whole battle is observed. Diana has been working with Team Arrow from the start in her Black Canary suit, lying to the cops herself. It's figured out Roy's able to, Roy try to chase down with Amiko. He's able to chase down some of the more of the Ninth Circle members. Uh, they knock him out really hard, but he gets beats the shit out of them and beats them to death with a pipe. Murders them. It's like Roy, stop! Roy, stop! It's like and Roy's just kind of looked on his suit. Like we gotta protect him. We gotta protect him. So they all together decide that they have to protect Roy to help him out. Diana doesn't agree with him first because he murdered people. But I see why they did. And Oliver's like questions him like, "You got resurrected, didn't you?" By the Lesbian officers, and Roy says yes. That they was on a mission with Theo. They were doing something. He got killed, and Theo had put him in a Lazarus pit. You know, he just remembered blacking out and coming back to life from the water. And do that. It gives him like it did with Thea in well, not oh sorry, season 4. Season 3, she as we know, Thea Queen. She died in season 3. I think when Rachel stabbed her. Not Ross, Rachel, by the way. Anyway, stabbed her. She went to Lazarus pit, came out in season 4. She had a bloodlust and was attacking people and was killing somebody. No, whereas, and to feel that bloodlust, you have to keep killing, or it just comes out of you. It was by Thanos Guild members and it was revived by Bloodsport, giving the bloodlust he once had when he got the Mirakuru in the past, when he got that in season 2. Like when Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, had that as well. The Mirakuru was like this weapon, well, this disease that messes with your mind, make you really strong as well. But it really messes with your mind. Bloodlust is different though. But it's almost the same as come back from the Lazarus pit, giving you that bloodlust. Simply, the group is made aware of Amigo's area. They track her down. She's able to get away. Oliver finds her. Amigo admits that she tells Oliver, now I'm responsible. She's like, sets Oliver in her trap. Oliver's going to shoot this arrow at her, but kind of, she's like in a mirror, well, across another mirror that they're separate. And she's like, I'm responsible for your death too. He's like, I knew about the Gambit's bombs, but I didn't tell anybody. He deserved to die for abandoning me. Amigo admits that she delivered the missing security footage from Metro Subway to CCPD, thus framing the whole case to Team Arrow. This scene closed where Amigo advised Oliver that she took part in the devastating the Gambit, that she knew about it. Yeah. So directly, for what she did, caused the death of Tommy Merlin, Quentin Lance, Sarah, not Sarah Lance, Laura Lance, caused all that to happen because of what she did of her actions. He's like, goodbye, brother. And you see it blow up, and then Oliver, he gets blown up in this one too. They might have died, and then you see Oliver just, yeah. But Confessions was an alright episode. Yeah. But it might grow to like it a little more. So maybe that was refreshing. Alright. Two more, y'all, and then we're done. Yeah, I finished the season today, so that's what I'm talking about now. Alright, another favorite episode of mine is Living Proof. Police division takes a few steps to get back for the junior Silence camera film and gets a warrant to look through Felicity's new office. She's about to get arrested, but she says, "Can I just think about it?" Elena hug her first. She pulls his watch up because the sergeant's going to arrest her because you know it wasn't Amigo Queen that did it. So she sent it to the security. The sergeant sees this footage and is going to arrest her. Yeah. So most team members, they get liberated themselves from the rubble. They're all separated. Well, not technically. John and Diane are okay. They have to get, there's this role that's a bit on, Renee, but they get it off of him. Oliver keeps on being trapped. He's in the long run. Then he gets a dream or hallucination of Tommy Merlin, the actor that comes back. Yeah, he's got a beard, which I didn't mind. It's like, hey, Oliver, been a long time I've seen you. Yeah, we've seen him. I don't think this is the first one. I think it was like season two when we saw Tommy as season two where we saw Tommy as another hallucination. And then in the last season, season six, when the human target pretended to be him, but it had to be the same actor though that played him as well. However, McCallum, the best way to get away, he's like, I'm gonna kill her. I was like, Oliver, why? She was abandoned, by your father. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't kill her. But Oliver's like, well, I understand, but she's gonna face the consequences of her actions. She needs to die because she had my father killed. She did this. You know, he's like, you need to reason with her through her heart. You know, he spends most of the scenes with him, visiting Tommy. At a certain point, though, Felicity and Elena are working from Tierra shelter. They go back to the bunker. They're hindered by they're hindered by Amigo in the attack of frenzy. And Amigo was like gonna shoot at them, but when she's like, Amigo, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant, and Amigo says not to kill. She's not that cruel of a woman, but she realizes she can use it to hold it over Oliver's head, I guess. Yeah. But in the end, Roy gets dangerous passing to the troll through toxic gas to try to cut the office interested to help free Oliver, so he's trying to free Oliver, so he's got 12 seconds to get him, and he works, so he goes in there. Maybe that Lazarus pit kept him alive a bit too, a little bit longer. I don't know. I know Lazarus pit just brings you back to life, but maybe can prolong it a little bit. So maybe Roy had a better chance. If Roy goes in there to that toxic waste, pushes the button, gets to safety, and is just all. Him and Diana talk is like, you should trust me. You're right. I murdered two people. It's like, yeah, you did it, Roy, but sorry for I was being hard on you. And they talk there for a bit. And Oliver has an imagination. Well, you figure it's imagination, but he gets out. He's trying to get these explosive arrows, which when it doesn't work, it just makes the roll more come rubble down. But he's able to get out. Sees the team. They fight with Amico, and he is like, Oliver, don't do it. And Oliver shoots an arrow and kills Amico. But then you see that John has an arrow right here in his chest, and the team's like dead. Then you figure Oliver, you're just gonna make it worse. Killing you is gonna cause more killing. Oliver's waking though, and he gets saved by Team Arrow. But she's able to get another weapon or whatever. It's biological weapon. She gets her hands on another one. They're able to escape. They also start to attack the TCPD. They start working together. You know, and then you get the future where the group discovers Renee and his sidekicks may utilize Archer to transform the Glades to a police state. It's not very soon time before William and Felicity have followed the previous childhood. Later on, William goes off the continent and has to go Because Felicity's telling him, like, no, you don't need to do this, but he goes off anyway. Alina consists to work with Felicity in the group. You see her in the future. Oh my god, her hair looks ridiculous too. And the makeup for her looks bad. I'm like, again, give Richard, Rick Baker a call. Not Richard Baker, Rick Baker, if you want to do some good makeup. Yeah. But I've seen some good makeup on TV shows, just not this one. Yeah. I think the worst makeup looks on Athena, which a character I don't care about anyway. I guess her and Felicity are falling out. Like, I don't care about her or Felicity Archer. But then, I don't know, this team, the one that, it made me think of the Total Recall remake, with the robot. Sorry, with the robots, it kind of made me think of that a little bit. They're not robots, they're men. I don't know, just a little awkward. But anyway, that episode's instance there. But again, I like the living proof. I just like seeing Tommy back. That was cool. And his conversations with Oliver. And they have to come back for, well, I don't think one more time. I think he's in season 8 too, maybe not a lot. But of course, they do bring some characters back in the final season as well, of course. All right. And then the last and final episode of Arrow season 7, that is, you have you have saved the city. Yes, that was a pretty good ending. And this is the last episode of Arrow season 7. So Team Arrow is caught on the roof by the CPD. But they're attempting. Well, she's wearing a green Arrow suit at the end of the episode. She's like, "Kill me." He's like, I was like, "No." She's trying to help her, but she escapes. I guess with the nice level helping her out. He's able to escape. They attempt to all officers down, but they refuse. As they search her visually as unconscious, team puts hands above their knees, but Oliver shoots an arrow like really quick at them. Explosion arrow. They get away. The team then returns to Arrow Cave and try to determine what Rico was going to strike with the Cynix X. It's this biological weapon that can kill a lot of people in the city. Which, okay. So since Amico it is because of the villain, I guess she wants to spur a lot of people. I guess doing this against Oliver, since she was a bandit and stuff, really like he had the perfect life. She figures, well, I'll kill you and your baby and your wife. You know, yeah. That torment, that torture I went through in my life, I'm gonna do you the same thing by killing a bunch of innocent people. I guess it's her way of getting revenge on Oliver by destroying his city. It's not like that. It's like it's not the character scene go for revenge, like with the Deathstroke trying to get revenge. Well, I mean, Malcolm Merlin wanted revenge too, but not against Oliver, but the Glades itself for what happened to his wife Rebecca, and Deathstroke wanted revenge for what happened to Shadow on the island, and Rachel Gould no, probably when Oliver betrayed him, but a season 4 Damien Dark probably a little revenge there when his wife got killed. Anarchy probably blamed Team Arrow on it, but more like Oliver wanted revenge on him. And then Prometheus was the one that wanted revenge on Oliver for killing his father when he was the Hood when he started out. And then season 6 Picard Diaz, well, I would say more revenge in season 7, but not really, but the weakest of the villains. But I think Amigo was a lot better than him because he's just more interesting and could take Oliver on the fight too. Anyway, we realize the alert is also going everybody inside the yard in order to maximum the impact of the weapon. The team gets additional help from, you see Laura coming back from her to help out. The team members decide they attempt to go out to people to evacuate, but they won't listen. And I loved it when Michael J. White shows up, he punches this guy's like, he's trying to save you, dumbass. I just laughed. And it was just awesome to see him again. That'd be cool if he was a new member of the team. I would love that. If Michael J. White was cheap, I wouldn't be, but if he was more part of the show, I think it would have been awesome. Why couldn't if he? Why couldn't we just? I know Bronze Tiger's a villain, like we see the first time we see season 2 he's a villain, but if he was redeemed, we could have just had. I would have him be a new member of the team, him and Ragman. Yeah, that would have been cool. Bring Roy back and Thea. That would have been an awesome team over Artemis, Evelyn Sharp, and Mr. Terrific, you know, Curtis, Diana, and Renee. I'm like, why couldn't we just have these characters instead? Oh, that's right, because some of the writers just had to give us some crappy characters. You have good ones. It's like they have good characters in the show. They just don't know what to do with them sometimes. But the people they start to leave, they listen. So Miko then launches drones carrying these, and it starts spraying out. They're shooting Oliver shooting arrows at it. They're fighting it. They're blowing these up. Curtis tells Oliver he needs to freeze the drones to disable them and render Cygnus hell Cygnus hellness. Oliver succeeds, but some people get hit by it, and I don't mean to laugh, but this lady, she's gonna tell me she's like, ah. I just thought it was kind of funny. The look, her reaction on her face was a bit cheesy. Sorry, I just thought it was. I hate that word, but I just thought it was a bit cheesy there. Team returns to Arrow Cave and learns from a news report that they have been branded as the vigilantes, that they're the ones that caused the attack. Turns out Amico has plenty more drones waiting to be used. Everyone are surprised when Laura says that Amico did her a favor by framing her, as she now knows criminal life is not something she wants to live. That's why and I do like seeing her in the Black Canary suit. We don't see her much. The much disappointing thing is we see her in the suit, but we don't get to see much action. I mean, she does use her canary cry, but we just see it one time. I'm like, come on, you're gonna bring her back in that suit, a little more action. Felicity Curtis then say they'll be using a special car. Yeah, so Curtis comes back. I didn't miss Curtis at all. Oliver and Diggle and Roy and Ben. I guess you could say the actor who played Curtis. I don't look it up, but I guess he's had to leave the show too. But just maybe come back for the show, and he goes back for season 8 as well. I guess he decided to leave the show, or they just wrote him out. I don't know, or they just, like I said, they just didn't know what to do with him. As Oliver, Diggle, Roy, and Ben disable a number of the drones, Felicity contacts them and says 15 drones have been just activated. Curtis says they have to be controlled by one place. So Felicity checks the location. Oliver goes to Oliver's surprise. It's at Queen's Consolidated. Oliver is so surprised that Amigo wants to destroy Oliver's legacy. You have this character Virgil. I don't know. He was like annoying British kind of dude. Like, boy, the nice circle. They don't agree with what you're saying. And she doesn't listen. That her sibling rivalry is just, you know, that it revealed the Ninth Circle to the world, which the Ninth Circle, the head council didn't want that. That she's going to keep on her vendetta. Oliver, Diggle, Roy, and Ben arrive at the site with Diana. Rena, Renee and Laura fall shortly from behind. Oliver attempts to go after Amigo. It is cool to see Ron Segel with his knives, with his like Wolverine kind of blades and fight some guys. Of course, see Michael J. White in some action. Oliver makes to the pants of the building. Diggle, Roy, and Ben are attacked by the Ninth Circle. They manage to fight them off, but just some good action in there. I think the show this season did have a bit better action than season 5 and 6. That's just my opinion. Oliver finds Amico and the two fight, and they have this battle. They're fighting. He's like, I understand why you're mad. And he takes her over, confronts her, where her hate has led her. He says how to feel angry about how he lost Robert, his dad, his father, Tommy, his mother Myra, Laura, and Quentin, all because that Queen's Gambit went down. And Amigo didn't try to stop it, even though he could have. Despite that, though, Oliver still believes a hero lives within her. But hatred toward Robert drew her down a dark path, and that very hatred is to blame for the death of her mother. He's like, no, it was not that. No, it was your hate for your mother. You joining with the Ninth Circle because you say that's your family. That's the reason why. It's almost like he's getting through to her by his heart. Suddenly, though, the Ninth Circle arrives, and their leader, Beatrice, declares that Amigo's vendetta has led the Ninth Circle away from the path. She, like, throws a knife at her or whatever, or stabs Amigo, but Amigo was able to fight. So Amigo turns on the Ninth Circle, fights with him a bit, because they didn't want the world to know about their existence. Amigo claims the Circle answers to her, but Beatrice declares not anymore, and he throws a knife. Beatrice and then commands the Circle to kill Oliver and Amigo. The two siblings fight together. Amigo is surprised Oliver is still here. He's like, I won't leave family. After Oliver and Amigo gain the upper hand, Beatrice reverts to detonate the building. Amigo attacks her. She manages to kick the knife on her deeper, causing Amigo more injury, which, you know, the knife circle saves. Oliver holds Amigo in his arms. Amigo Paula tells Oliver that she and Felicity need to hide. She's like, I made a threat to her, did worse for you and your baby. You and Felicity need to hide. You'll hide, Oliver. I'm sorry. Mainly asking for forgiveness. And, you know, I felt sorry. I felt really sad for Amigo, that had she had lived, I think Oliver would have accepted her and maybe she could have joined the team. Why can't we brought her character in much earlier in season 5 and make her part of the team? Well, we don't, Speedy doesn't want to be part of the team. Thea doesn't want to be part of the team. Why couldn't we just do some Amigo earlier? But instead, no, we'll just make her a villain and kill her off by the end. I'm like, really? But I think she does come back in season 8 doing the crisis timeline. We'll talk about that when we get to season 8. Sorry. But apparently from their computers, their systems, they're able to destroy the biological weapon, whatever it's called again, and they save the day. Even though the Night Circle gets away, I'm like, okay, I guess the Night Circle just leaves. I don't remember them being in season 8, so I guess they just, unless I'm wrong. But I've only seen season 8 one time, so. The team regroups and Eric, Laura, and Curtis intend to return to Earth 2 and Washington. Well, Laura goes to Washington, Earth 2, and Curtis goes to his job. Curtis is about to propose to his loved one. I don't care about that, but anyway. Oliver and Felicity then tell Diggle, Roy, and Renee that they're going to step down for a time. And, they look at the costumes like they're just saying to the bunker about last time. And the lights turn off. You just see Oliver looking at the bunker as the lights turned off, like he's officially retiring as Green Arrow. And you see a tear in his eye for all of the years that he's accomplished on his mission as Green Arrow. Like he says, it's like they ever will tell us, he's like, I started off this mission by myself. I thought I did alone, but then I just never knew I would have this team and become this hero. My legacy is the Green Arrow. But it was just that little sad moment when the bunker lights her off, and it was an emotional moment. You know, Oliver Digger, Oliver Felicity and Digger will stay in the cave as the lights are shut down, which is a sad moment to see. You see, Zeta has everyone surrounded, but Mia managed to get her hands on the knife that one Zeta gave her, and she attacks him like a badass. She even goes up to the roof to fight some of them, which I thought was cool. They managed to save William and Zoe managed to save William and Renee. Everyone, because idiot William tried to do something by himself and nearly gets himself and Renee killed. Renee, chastises him for it, but I'm like, Renee, you've done plenty of dumb things as a vigilante. You're like one of the worst vigilantes ever. Felicity then reveals that Archer is capable of bringing Mia's DNA. Since there's a record on her after Felicity erased her resistance to protect her, William decides to use that to advantage as when Archer tries to read the DNA, it can't be destroyed with the virus. Mia can reach some duty using her father's bow. She gets in the tower and sets the charge, nearly managed to escape before before it crumbles. Star City gets a Felicity, Diana, and Roy take the blame of the wall destruction, so they decide to take it because they're like, we're going to run for the rest of our lives anyway. They live on. So Diana gives the Canaries Zoe's leadership, which was alright. Yeah. And then the present day, Udil brings Oliver and Felicity to an Argus safe house, which is like a house out in the middle of nowhere. You know, Oliver's settled down. You see them live for how months they have. Felicity has her baby. It could be for a couple months. It could be for a year at least. But anyway, I don't know. 3 months, but it felt like it was a little more. And not like seeing Oliver being a father, just him being happy, holding his baby in his hands, and there's a little cute scene where Oliver's like sleeping on the couch and the daughter's in his hand, and I'm like, oh, that was adorable. Even though I see more of Laura as her mother than instead of Felicity. You know, at least Laura or Sarah, they could have taught their daughter to be a badass like them. Yeah, yeah. But one night they're about to have dinner. Oliver hears these flashboards. I mean, these floorboards cracking a little bit. He grabs a knife. Then you see more no. You see the monitor. Who he talked to an Elseworlds, which he made a deal to save Barry and Kyra, the Flash and Supergirl from their deaths. So Oliver made a deal with them that when the time comes, he will come to gain Oliver's help for the crisis that's about to come. but he can't help save countless others too. He's like, we're never gonna have a normal life. Yeah, this is what I do. I save people's lives. That's just who I am, and it's kind of a sad moment there, but I think it's fine. I feel sorry for Oliver because Oliver had to leave his daughter, which he didn't want to do, and he seen him going to his baby's crib and just saying goodbye to Mia, and knowing that he'll never really see his daughter grow up, and that's just really sad, you know. But Oliver says to go, just goes. Oliver does go with him. He's like, I've seen your future, Oliver. You do die in a certain way, but I would see Oliver in the future, you know, with just one arm, just one arm, you know. You know, Felicity after she has to go with the monitor, telling, you know, Mia and William, you know, bye. They don't need her protection. They don't need her protection more. Hartford later she's walking the road. She says she's ready, and then Monitor appears and tells her that where she'll go, there won't be a return. Lily says she's ready, as she's waited too long time to see Oliver again. Oliver's not dead, so he opens a portal and they go to the afterlife so she can be with Oliver. And the episode ends there. It just ends there with them, you know, over the portal and the Monitor and Felicity walking in the portal, and then season 7 ends. So yeah. So again, that's the end of Arrow season 7. Let me get my final thoughts on this. Okay, I'm about to be done here for 2 minutes. But again, I was not too much a fan of the season. There were some things I didn't like about it. I did enjoy about the season. But like I said, I didn't like the whole thing what they do with Felicity. They kind of made her again a bitch in this season. I didn't like Amigo as a villain, but I think they could do more with this character. They have so much potential with this character. Like with the lower season or 2 character, you could have done so much more. But it's not they don't know what to do with these characters. I still don't like Renee. He's still a pain in the ass. Diana, I don't care for her as a character. She was just kind of shoved in here to be part of the team. I felt like this character was just forced in there, you know. And I hate that Quentin's not in the season. I do miss the appearance of Quentin Lance. I know Paul Blackthorne. I believe that's the actor's name who plays Quentin, but he started to leave it. I did miss the, just keep the characters in your show that we like. I understand if some shows bring in new characters, but if you're gonna bring a new character, do it in the right way with some good writing in it, okay? Where I actually give a crap. But I didn't mind the story for this season. The Night Circle I thought was pretty interesting. I thought their black coats, their cloak and dagger, their costume for the some of the Night Circle's, minions were pretty cool looking. And but I do wish Oliver would like this instead of wearing his mask. It was interesting to see him in prison. I wish they would have kept that a little bit more in the season, maybe him being in prison. But that was pretty interesting, him being in prison and stuff. Yeah, like I said, this show goes from the Dark Knight trilogy. They took some inspiration from that. So seeing Oliver and Joe, I was okay with. They did, you knew it was going to happen anyway at the end of season 6, and there was the promotional pictures of Oliver being in prison and him looking like this, not this kind of picture, but different, just him kind of staring at there like that. And, they promoted season 7 this season that way. But there were some episodes I did enjoy. I did like I said, I liked Ernie Hudson being in here. There were some good episodes in there, but some episodes were okay, meh. A lot of problems. Like I didn't care about the future. I don't care about William. I like the Mia character. Mia character was awesome. I wish they would have, you know, maybe made her Green Arrow a little differently. I had Oliver in the future train her to be the Green Arrow instead of the whole Star City 2040 crap going on. I'm like, okay, no, let's just focus on Mia. Okay, you know, maybe William could have just came at the end. But the whole flash forward, the flashbacks or flash forwards, I'm like, really? I didn't care about that. I thought that was pretty lame. I'm like, it's kind of getting tiring now, the flash forwarding stuff. Yeah, it sucked in season 3 and season 5. The flashbacks, I think, sucked. These flash forwards, some of it, like with me, is pretty cool. Some of it's alright, but I just don't care. I didn't care for Felicity and Oliver being together. I just don't buy it. And I did like the actor that played Tom Merlin. He comes back. But, some entertaining episodes in there. I liked Oliver working with the police, but it was all right. That was going on, but I'm like, yeah, vigilante cops just don't work together very well. But they can work together, but in their own kind of different systems, different way of doing things within the law. They may vigilantes and cops, yeah, they have the pretty much what I can say is that they fight for the law. They just have different ways of doing it. But decent season. I give Arrow season 7. I'm gonna rate this. And I thought Amika was a good villain. I thought was a good villainess as well. I could understand why she was in pain, why she felt abandoned, and yeah, that could disturb a child up in the head and make you kind of grow up and stuff because you can understand that if her past affected her mentally. But yeah, I didn't talk about the crossover. Like I said, no crossovers until I'm done with the Arrowverse. But anyway, but Arrow season 7, really good. I highly recommend it. If you've never seen it, I I recommend it. But I would say season 1 and 2 are still the best. Season 3 and 4 are good as well, but they're not as good as the first two seasons. Season 5 and 6 sucked. This season 7 is mid. I liked it, but it could have been better. But anyway, guys, if you've seen Arrow season 7, what do you think of it in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? And my rating for Arrow season 7, I'm gonna give this 3 or 5 stars and episode so. I'm gonna give it a mild thumbs up because there's some things good about it in here. So I like Michael J. White being there. There's a lot of things I did like in it. So yeah. No, not mild thumbs. I'll just go so. Still, some episodes like there was a lot more. I would say there was a lot more okay episodes than favorites. Oh, you're right. That not that what I just said. Right? Yeah, but just a middle of the road kind of average season, if you will. That's just my opinion. It's there, nothing special. It's just not as good as the first two seasons, or I would say season 3 and 4 are even better than this. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Arrow season 7. So guys, tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of Arrow season 7 in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? How would you rank the seasons of Arrow, season 1 through 8, in your opinion? What are some of your favorite episodes of Arrow season 7? And and what do you think of the other seasons of Arrow, in your opinion? Send me in the comments down below, guys. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Oh, wait a minute. For the next video, I will be giving my thoughts on the episodes of Arrow season 8, the eighth and final season. So we are now going to be talking about the eighth season, and this only has 10 episodes. So you might see me during the week during the video for this because this is pretty short season. Yeah, this is like the final curtain call for Arrow, if you will, the final battle for Green Arrow. So yeah, so Arrow season 8, the last season. Yeah, and remember no crossovers. I'm not talking about the Crisis crossover. So I didn't really care for the Crisis. That was the only crossover I didn't really ever care for, to be honest. I thought that was a pretty lame crossover. I mean, yeah, you get some nice cameos from like Burt Ward, Tom Welling, Erica Durance, and Robert Wool from Batman '89 has a cameo in the Crisis episodes. That was not, and even like Kevin Conroy did, but I still just didn't care. You could throw nostalgia in my face for that, but it doesn't make it good. It's cool to see, but it doesn't make it great. Oh yeah, Ezra Miller has a cameo too, which I like really. That was stupid. I'd rather have Michael Rosenbaum in a Flash suit. But anyway, I'm just getting ahead of myself. But Arrow season 8, guys, is next. Tell me what you think of Arrow season 7 in your opinion. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Give my rating for Arrow season 7. Meh, average season. Not really much of a fan of it. And my rating for it is 3 out of 5 stars. So tell me in the comments down below, guys. What do you think of Arrow season 7 in your opinion? And stay tuned for my thoughts for the favorite episodes of Arrow season 8. So we will be finishing Arrow next. This will be the last season. And then we'll be doing a TV show collection for DC Legends. For DC Legends of Tomorrow, I'll also be sharing my previous videos from a couple years back, about 4 years ago, back on Supergirl, a while back on I will be sharing my videos on the Flash and Supergirl shows as well. Yes, with Grant Gustin and Melissa Bluntness from my other channel. I'll be sharing that on my DC when I'm done with Arrow here. Yeah. Anyway, guys, and Gotham as well. So, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Bye. And stay tuned for Arrow Season 8, the final season coming up next. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.